Honestly, like the mixed emotions, and a game like that, a thriller like that. We kind of came in. I knew the game was going to be a big one, a tough one. It's going to be something like that, and those kind of where it came down to the last moments of the game to really figure out who's going to decide the game. But I think shout out to our defense, shout out to everybody that played a part into making us being able to come out with a win, because it feels a lot better with the win than the obvious other way around.
Kyren, you and Blake have such a great relationship. How do you do you talk to each other during the game just to kind of to help each other out there when you're running?
Yeah, I think we continue to obviously always communicate. I think Coach G he does a great job with that, with his coaching style. We're always sitting down, we're always talking, we're always communicating. So for me today, as I was out there making those runs, I was coming back to the sideline telling Blake kind of what to expect. I kind of felt like they weren't tackling as good as they usually do. So I was coming up to the sideline and Blake like, look, man, the first one's not going to bring you down. Keep your head up, keep your eyes up, and keep those legs moving so you can create more yards at the contact. So it's just little stuff like that. Continuing just to feed off each other. I think that's the biggest thing and the best thing that we do. We're able to feed off each other. I feel like we play the games in a similar way but very different. And defense is kind of hard for defenses to stop that.
Your two longest runs of the year today. How did it feel to break through with those?
Oh, it felt so good. It felt really good. I knew the second one. I kind of knew if we got into that third down, that fourth down, what kind of front they're going to be in. And I was hoping. I was watching film last night, and I seen it from the Cardinals game. And I was like, oh, if we call an outside zone on this play, it's going to hit. And, Coach McVay did exactly that. We called 19 and went to the left side. And I knew that I was going to press it and stretch it as much as I could and put my foot in the ground. Like, it was kind of already a predetermined read. Don't tell Coach G that. But, yeah, I kind of knew that once I got outside and I was going to press the line, that everybody's going to fly over the top and I was going to be able to put my foot in the ground. And just seeing that on film and seeing, kind of how they felt like they probably could have attacked it, I kind of used it in my own way.
What was that like to kind of get to the third level for maybe the first time?
Dang near, yeah. It wasn't since 23. Now it felt really good. Like I said, those was something that we were working on this whole week. Getting to that third level, finding that safety, making that safety miss. I got to work on my overspeed a little bit, but next time I'm gonna put that ball in that zone. But it just feels good being able to put my foot in the ground, get vertical, find those yards, and then find that safety made a miss, and just make those plays. I'm very excited for those.
Kyren, we know that when you scored that touchdown, you joined some pretty exclusive company with the Rams, Eric Dickerson and Marshall Faulk, to have 40 touchdowns in the first 3 years. What does that mean to you?
It's wild, honestly. I don't really follow stats or follow anything like that regarding me or anybody, honestly. But just being able to go out there, play the game that I love and play the game that I dreamed of playing ever since I was a kid, and being named with these people that obviously are Hall of Famers and greats that play this game. To me, it's a blessing to me. I'm not gonna try to really get too excited over it. I'm gonna keep myself humble and hungry and go past those guys, honestly.
Kyren, kind of along those lines, knowing how much this team has meant to you since childhood, what does it mean to do something like cracking the top 10 in franchise history in career rushing yards?
I couldn't even tell you, honestly. It makes my insides feel good, though. I can't really explain it to you the way that it makes me feel, but man, I feel like that's all the hard work. That's all not even just from, in the NFL, but before that, wanting to get to the NFL, dreaming of being in the NFL. Now I'm actually in the NFL, living out my dream and, doing things that people I look at greats have done in the past. And so for me, it's just a sign that I got to continue to keep going. I got to continue to keep trusting and believing in everything that is happening, because it's working for the best. But for me, it's just an honor and a blessing to be a part of those names.
What kind of tone does it set for the team when Sean elects to go for it on the first 3/4 downs of the game?
Oh, it's us or nobody. That's kind of what it feels like. It's kind of what it felt like, and we kind of know, like, as an offense, when we're together, when we're living as one, especially in those situations, because Matthew will walk into the huddle and be like, we got to get this. Like, his eyes will go wide. Like, he looks like he looks serious. So once he says that, and once we hear one of our leaders like really motivate us to go get a job done, it kind of makes it easier. I believe in the guys up front, the tight ends, the receivers, and and myself to be able to go get that 1 yard, that 2 yard, but whatever it is, I'm just. Makes me feel good that Coach McVay trusts us enough to go do that.
How would you describe Matthew's, confidence in the huddle?
Yeah, it's different. It's different. Obviously, this is my first time being in a huddle with an NFL quarterback, and I'm super blessed that it's Matthew Stafford that I get to learn from and get to be around, and just to be able to see how he commands the huddle. Not only the huddle, but the pre-snap and then the after-snap, and the things that he's able to do with dictating defenders, being able to read coverages, and just being able to be that person that's out there on the field that, if we asked him to do anything, he really could. But just knowing that we always got his back and, continue just to stay 11 as one, that's kind of what he harps on. And, just being able to be blessed enough to go out there and play hard.
Thanks,
Appreciate
Ken.
it.